A series of tragic incidents involving children who consumed contaminated snacks bought from local Spaza shops has rocked South Africa.
What in the snack? Help me understand how this is happening in 2024.
What I can tell you is that I know in my teacup is tea, but in the snack is poison.
But
As far as I understand, poison.
No, bro, but remember that as kids, I remember myself just walking to the store and buying Simba chips, Simba chips or whatever. Mm-hmm. And nowadays, it's not even safe for a kid to just simply walk into a store and buy Simba chips without knowing if ever they will be waking up the next day.
You know what I find alarming is the fact that this is not a new problem. If we remember correctly, in 2023, I think it was 5 kids that actually died in Soweto again from the very same thing. And I'm just trying to understand in my head how something like this keeps reoccurring. How many more children are going to die?
I think we're chasing this poison because first it was in 2023, the story Heidi's talking about, I think it was a packet of biscuits.
Yeah.
And now it's in the snack.
Yeah. But you know what? This thing is really like... because I remember calling home because I have a little niece, right? And I was like, can you just make sure that she doesn't buy from the local shops? And it has gotten that bad.
But how?
You have to, because now you give your kid money, right?
Yeah.
And as much as you could pack up their snacks and whatnot, these kids, when they're all together,
exactly.
and they decide, let's go buy Keep. And then next thing, it's, Keep leads to like death.
Even like Coke, I won't buy from a Spaza shop because I don't know if that's been regulated. I don't know where that thing's been bought from.
Yeah.
I don't know the expiry dates. I don't even know if that thing, where it was manufactured. As much as it's in a Coke can, you don't know where that thing is coming from. And I think that's where the problem is starting, is the fact that we actually just don't know where the stuff is coming from.
Yeah, but then you see, there's a problem with that because I think you could regulate something, right, and put expiry dates and everything. But that woman who's sitting there at the stop sign or whatever, who's selling there, how is she gonna be putting a barcode on the Masimba chips that they fill in with their hands?
True. How is she gonna? In the morning.
Yes,
they don't know.
My question is, what is inside the snacks? Because even when you ask the question of, what did they eat? Everyone says it's snacks. What kind of snacks? But also, what poison is it?
There's something called alipirim. Basically, it's used to kill pests.
Yeah.
It could be insects, it could be mice, rats, and everything like that. So, as far as I know, Theo, like these guys who are running these puzzle shops, foreign nationals. I don't think it's wrong to say Pakistanis. Because some of them are from Ethiopia, Somalia. So they're from different nationalities.
The story that I covered now this past weekend, the Spaza shop owners alleged to be Zimbabwean. There's also a lot of Somalians in there. And I think that the concern is the fact that it's that they're not regulated and whether or not they're even documented, because I feel like that is also a big talking point.
I think in broader context, right? All puzzle shops should be regulated, regardless of whether you're Somalian, Pakistani, Zimbabwean, or let's forget about the nationality. They should all be checked because the impact that it has in communities is dire.
Yeah,
kids are dying.
This Pakistani person comes in. I have space in my house in front of my yard there. It's free. I'm broke. I don't have money. And they come in and they say to me,
I see what you're saying.
I'm going to pay you 5 grand per month for me to come and build my little shop in front of your house. You don't have to do anything. You're going to have 5 grand in your account. Guys, people go to extremes to get 350 from Ramaphosa. 5 grand is a lot.
The community has now also been called out to say, but you are contributing to the problem, because this specific Spaza shop where this 10-year-old child died, That Spaza shop, guys, I'm not even joking with you, is built on the pavement.
Yeah.
What did you find?
It's like 1 centimeter away from the street.
Yeah.
It's outside a house
They're normally
on
like
the
that.
pavement.
I learned a new term last week called organophosphate. This is poison used to kill insects, to protect like some of the crops when farmers are farming.
Is that
Yeah, so
Just like
now,
alipirim.
you remember the kids who died in a lady, right? So what we heard was in the snacks, what was found is organophosphate. It's used to kill like mice, rats, and everything, right? Farmers use it a lot for agricultural reasons. So it seems these chaps, what they're doing is they have these halipirimis and all that to actually kill these pests in their tuck shops. But little do they know that that thing is so toxic that if it can just land on a banana or a biscuit
Yeah.
or snacks,
Yeah.
it's enough to kill you.
No, but Pula, I have a
No,
question.
but
How does it get, if it's a sealed packet of like
Yeah.
chips, I don't want to name brands,
remember these
how
tuck
does it
shops,
get inside
remember
there?
these
No,
tuck
but
shops, they're
they-
congested as well. Like the stock is so congested. Sometimes you have a mixture of snacks and everything, and they just
Look,
throw
it could
there,
be, it could
you
be,
know?
it could be a coincidence like that. But
Yeah.
then when you talk
But
to
also-
people,
Yeah.
and their kids are dying, you know, and when you talk to these people, they're like, they are blaming the tuck shop owners. What experience have you had when you?
Dude, so the other time was so crazy. I was driving, minding my own business. Then I get a phone call. This lady's like, you need to come to this community. We're about to burn these shops. Because these people are taking us for a what? Those community members are up in arms. They are closing all these tuck shops. At the time, I can confirm about 120 tuck shops belong to one foreign national. He claims to be documented. But there was an issue. About 16 kids were rushed to hospital because they had allegedly bought snacks from these tuck shops. And these community members were so united, they wanted to burn they were closing each and every tuck shop
That's
in Bronco Spirit.
Yeah.
Did
right?
anyone, no child died from that one, hey?
No. But they were all rushed to hospital and they couldn't attend classes.
The thing with the closing of tuck shop is the same thing that happened in Naledi. When I was there for a story, I think it was 2 weeks back.
Yeah.
And basically the community was closing all the tuck shops. There's a brewing kind of situation where there's this thing of South African versus foreign nationals.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
I would be very careful to say it's deliberate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we do know that this country is infested with a lot of counterfeit products. We need to be careful about this whole thing as well, because I feel for people in our townships, right? It's sad to see that even when we visit these townships, young people are unemployed, right? Young people can't get jobs, right? So who are you to blame me for buying from that Spaza shop when I can't afford to buy bread? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all nice to say, yeah, why are you guys buying there, sitting
Yeah.
from your comfort of your couch?
Yeah.
When I was deployed to the story in Alex on about 2 days ago,
Yeah.
we got to the house. You could immediately see really disadvantaged family. You could tell that they were really struggling.
Yeah.
Daughter died because she ate snacks from a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
A 10-year-old died from eating alleged contaminated snacks. The mother's in hospital. The 5-year-old son is also in hospital. And, you know, I asked myself that question, like, why would you buy 1 rand chips from
Exactly.
a Spaza shop?
Yeah.
But it all goes down to, what if they had no other choice? What if they had nothing else to eat? And that is the bigger problem. And then I went back on the Monday to speak to the father. The MEC for economic development was there. And, you know, I got so angry afterwards, after interviewing him, because I said to him, how many more times are you going to visit? How many more families are you going to visit until you do something about it? How many more children are going to have to die for you to actually understand how severe this problem is? Imagine, I don't know what was the youngest child that died in
Yeah.
Naledi?
Yeah.
Those kids were like 5, 6 years old.
What is the government doing about
no,
this,
but
bro?
you know
look,
what?
I mean, look, this has been happening since, like Heidi said, since 2023.
Yeah.
Right?
Here's the thing, here's the scary part. The other day, I was covering, I think it was last week, children died from school. well, they didn't die, actually. They went to hospital.
Yeah.
But from a school, and
Yeah.
thank God they didn't die. But the scare was there. The school has a feeding scheme.
Yeah.
But now this lady gave Archer to these kids to go sell inside the school to their peers.
Oh, no.
And that was the thing. So even though there's a feeding scheme and they are avoiding having a lot of shops, and because there's a school shop that is regulated and according to the principal, but now this lady gave them Archer to go sell inside. Now we don't know whether this was food poisoning or it was poisoned, but
So
the kids were in hospital. There were more than 18 kids were vomiting all over the school.
I just want to say that maybe just my part in closing about the story in Alex, the fact that this father, and it's so hard to speak about.
Did he cry? Was he sad?
Yes, he was crying because he's lost his child. His
Yeah.
wife is in hospital in a critical condition. Luckily, she's doing much better now. But we asked him how he felt after, you know, the MEC was there and whoever else was there. And he said, that's not going to bring my child
You
back.
see, I remember in Soweto, these kids died from eating biscuits. Have we not learned? Why do we always have to react?
You know, you were speaking
not
about
prevent or cure.
Lebohang Maile, who was actually at Soweto in Naledi when I was doing that. You know, he was following up basically with the community after they've closed down, and now their outcry was that they've lost the convenience. They've closed all these stores that were there because of the scare, obviously, of their kids being poisoned. But now they've lost the convenience of having shops. They don't even have money to travel to town
And
every
they
time to
can't
buy.
buy bread,
They can't buy
milk.
bread. They
Yeah.
can't buy normal things that you can get from the shop around the corner.
Yeah.
They can't get that anymore.
I really think they need to do a complete overhaul of the Spaza shops
Yeah.
because another child could possibly die because the Spaza shops are not being regulated.
But how many Spaza shops are there?
They must make a plan because Gauteng is the most hit. How can you allow another child to die because you don't know how to control the situation? The best way to control the situation is to inspect and monitor every single Spaza shop and to find the root cause of the problem. You can't have a situation where a man standing in front of you, he's crying, he's lost all hope, he's lost his child, and you want to stand there and go, the problem is so bad, we take responsibility. You don't take responsibility.
State of emergency. But do you think that a state of emergency
Yes.
would resolve
Yes.
for the government to be able to walk in and make decisions to say, we are now starting from scratch, we're regulating all the shops?
I think, look, I do
So
not...
what's your solution if you don't agree with the state of emergency?
I do not have a problem with who runs Spaza shops. I don't. As long as you're compliant and you're selling good products that are edible, that are safe for consumption, I'm good. But I think the Gauteng government should have a strategy to deploy food inspectors across all the wards in Gauteng.
You know, when you are on the field, like Heidi was saying, to see the parents, to see the scare and the hurt from losing a child is not easy. But then where do we go from here? Like, what would you say? Let's say they do declare a state of emergency.
I want to get when they say state of emergency, is it only something that will oversee the Gauteng province, or it needs to be a bird's eye view perspective,
No,
like
I think
nationally?
I think because I asked that question, I said, is it going to be like a province, state of emergency, or is it going to be like a country state of emergency? Because Gauteng is obviously the main focus because most cases are in Gauteng, but we've had cases, like you're saying, in KZN and in Limpopo, and how many other cases unreported? So I think they're trying to perhaps propose something to the president, and they'll obviously have to find a way to deal with it. But my feeling as being a reporter on the field, it's really hard, and covering stories of death is just never easy, and it's really difficult because even as a journalist, you feel helpless. Like, how are you going to help these people? It's just in my head. I can't fathom it. And then I go home and I think about these people and I'm like, that child, what if that was like the future president? Like, you don't know.
Can I be honest? Like, this is chaotic, bro. Like, the fact that people are hungry breaks me every time. Like, we're supposed to be the face of telling stories to the nation and everything, but deep inside,
the voice to the voiceless.
Yeah, I mean, before you're a journalist, you're a human being, right? So it breaks you. Like, and the part that broke me when I was in Broncos Spruit is, yes, there's a discourse that's been advanced here. People are raising these general concerns, but there were elements of looting. People are stealing food and People are hungry.
But people are hungry.
People are
That's
hungry.
the thing. And I guess that's
and I don't
why-
condone that.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I don't condone looting, but the inequality in this country and poverty and unemployment.
You did say that we need to also think it's a South African
But
issue.
where is the president?
Outside of
Where
this.
is the president, Heidi?
But
Where's
yeah,
where's Ramaphosa?
but then
Where's
it
Cyril Ramaphosa?
goes down to the local economy. It goes because these people
No, but I personally,
who are
I'm sorry.
dying
Yeah.
are local.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
to interject, but this is a national problem.
is a national
and
crisis.
I just want to add something else. You know, you ask where the president is. It's
Yeah.
like, I wish that he was there in Alex on Sunday and Monday, so you can see all the children that were around there. I mean, there's cameras, there's media, you know, there's just so much happening. And all those children are sitting literally on the pavement looking at all of this happening. And you can see they are confused, they are scared.
Yeah,
They
but-
are distressed, their
Yeah.
friend just died. And it's like the fact that we are not protecting the future of this country and the most vulnerable in our society,
Yeah.
and they are dying because they're eating contaminated snacks. For me, it's just such an indictment.
Theo, let me ask you a question.
I remember when I was
Yeah,
doing,
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember in Naledi, you cannot control this if you don't first start from controlling your borders. And I don't mean to point hands or anything, point fingers or anything. We need to ask
That's factual, what he said.
national to actually intervene, start controlling there, then control inside.
Yeah, but the
Because
problem,
it
no, but
doesn't
Theo, hold
matter-
on, I disagree with that. The problem is now, here in your face.
So,
Controlling
yeah.
up there, that's not your problem right now. Your problem now is the local shops inside the townships that have contaminated snacks. That needs to be dealt with. And in my opinion, the way that needs to be dealt with is to save our children and to close down these Spaza
How?
shops.
I-
Shut down the Spaza
I-
shops.
That's the thing. How? Because you need to get a call to action. And that's why Lebogang is like, start there, close here, regulate that, because you can say, let's save our kids. But how are we saving our kids? How? What are you doing?
I genuinely think this is a national security crisis and that it needs all spheres of government to intervene. But be as it may, we have unfortunately come to the end of our conversation. Heidi, Theo, thank you very much for your time, as usual.
Wow.
We'll have again something to discuss about, things that are affecting this country. Of course, thank you very much, guys, for joining us and watching our podcast, The Bridge. Till we meet again, bye-bye.